So this is something I was not expecting to go viral, right? Like, I was not expecting this to go viral at all. Okay, you know what? I'll be fair. I won't call this, like, viral. It's not like thousands and thousands of shares and likes or anything, but it's one of my bigger tweets recently. Which is kind of weird to me. I didn't think anyone would engage with anything I said on Twitter, to be honest, outside of a few mutuals. But regardless, I said, remember the Dems want us fucking dead just as much as the Republicans? We are not voting our way out of this. Only through revolutionary struggle will we survive. And this is in response to Democrats help Republicans ban gender-affirming care for transgender kids. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, even, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, the Democrats are totally looking out for us, friends. Like, but it's like they can't even do the bare minimum. They can't even do the bare fucking minimum. Ban gender-affirming care for transgender kids. Lovely. So we're gonna have more trans youth, you know, taking their lives due to the lack of gender-affirming care. 3 Texas Democrats helped their Republican colleagues pass a controversial state bill that would ban transgender youth from getting hormone therapies, puberty blockers, and transition-related surgeries. Puberty blockers are like some of the most basic things out there. It is less permanent than hormone therapy, right? Puberty blocker is just, it does simply that. It blocks puberty. And then when you go off of them, puberty resumes. Yet that is blocked. So they can't even get the bare minimum to like keep this as a thing. But again, it's Texas. I don't think any of us should be surprised. And transition-related surgeries. They're acting like fucking 5-year-olds or something getting surgeries, and that's just not the case. This past Friday, in an initial vote in the House, 12 Democratic state representatives favored passage of Senate Bill 14 after the party successfully delayed the bill on a technicality twice the week before. 2/3 of those Democrats said they had meant to vote against the measure. Really? How interesting. How interesting. 2/3 of those Democrats said they had meant to vote against the measure. How do you accidentally vote for something like this? Right? Like, how do you... oh, really? They say that? Yeah. They meant to vote against it, but like, I'm seriously, like, this is what rattled my brain when I read this. How do you accidentally say, oh yeah, you know what? I'll vote yes on banning a gender-affirming care. I don't need to tell you that talk is cheap. Yeah, no shit, Simon. Talk is cheap. I think they're just trying to cover their ass. Because I honestly think the Democrats do not care at all. Like, they don't... I'm not convinced. Right? They haven't shown me anything that they care. Although 9 Democrats moved back in step with the rest of their party in the final vote on Monday, 3 Democratic representatives voted in favor again, helping Republicans move the bill to the Senate for confirmation. After that, it goes to Texas Governor Greg Abbott's desk for signature. SB 14 is expected to be the most consequential bills in this year's legislative session, severely restricting trans people under 18 from accessing medical care related to transitioning. Texas has one of the largest transgender youth communities in the country, and I know a lot of people in Texas, so this is like heartbreaking to hear. Covering their ass while talking shit, what a combo. I know. With 29,800 residents between 13 and 17 who identify as transgender, it is the third largest community behind California and New York. According to the Williams Institute, a think tank at the UCLA School of Law, the bill would also affect youth who are already receiving transition-related care. It says those individuals would be weaned off treatment in a medically appropriate manner. Really, weaned off treatment. Like, hey kid, we know you're trans, but guess what? No hormones for you. We're gonna wean you off those hormones. Yeah, you're gonna feel terrible. You're not gonna do great, but, you know, it's God's plan. That's like literally the attitude here. Medically appropriate. Nice word for genocide. Texas state senators gather in the chamber on September 20th, 2021 in Austin. The Texas House is sending to the Senate a controversial bill. Okay, blah, blah, blah. SB 14 has prompted protests at the state capitol in Austin. We are well past the stage of waving signs, thank you very much. Where members of the LGBT communities and their allies have repeatedly demonstrated against the legislation. Some Democratic lawmakers, including 9 openly LGBTQ state representatives, have joined those efforts. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know some of the local government isn't entirely shit. There's like 9 people who matter, I guess. The bill, which the Texas GOP has called a top legislative priority, is one of several anti-trans proposals that have been filed by Republicans this legislative session. GOP legislators have also introduced bills prohibiting classroom discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity and banning transgender athletes from competing on women and girls sports teams. Among other measures, both of those bills have already passed in the Senate and House. A poll conducted by the University of Texas at Austin last month found that the majority of Texas voters, 58%, support banning doctors from offering gender-affirming care to minors. The 3 Democratic lawmakers who voted in favor of SB 14 are Representatives Harold Dutton, Tracy King, and Sean Theory. In a statement defending her vote, Theory said last Friday, "I haven't made a decision to place the safety and well-being of all young people over the comfort of political expediency. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, I made the decision for their safety. What are you gonna do when they're all dead? You know? Like, I don't mean to, like, start the stream off with, like, such a downer. But, like, I have a video planned covering this stuff. This sort of, like, just the genocide that's going on. Like, I haven't started editing or recording or anything, but I'm, like, working on an outline and whatnot. It's like, okay, the safety and well-being of all young people. So when all the young people take their lives, then what? Where's their safety and well-being? Right? This is so ridiculous. And this is supposed to be a Democrat. Remember, these are the people they'll tell you vote against fascism, right? Save democracy, all this nonsense. And here they are being like, you know, hey, I'm gonna help with the genocide now. She continued, "It is more core belief and conclusion that we should remain consistent in the premise that children must be given special provisions under the law as they cannot fully appreciate the long-term consequences of their actions." Kids know. Listen, kids know. I wish I had gender-affirming care available to me when I was a teen. Things would have been a lot easier in life, right? Sure, things are better now, but it took a long time and a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and a lot of, like, anguish to get where I am now. And I would rather people not have to go through that, right? Like, I would rather trans youth be able to transition. Even if you're doing something basic, like, okay, here's some, like, therapy and puberty blockers, right? It's not gonna hurt. It's nothing life-altering. And then when they're adult, you know, then you could, you know, and if they make it to an adult with puberty blockers or whatever, and they decide, okay, yeah, I'm all in. Okay, then you get your gender-affirming care, your surgeries, and all that. But, like, Jesus Christ. The best practice should be to raise the age to 18 for gender modification. What a disgusting name. Like, this is the problem with this shit. Gender modification. Like, again, are you fucking kidding me? That's not the name for it. It's called gender-affirming care. And not everything is like, all these fucks think everything has to do with a knife or something. And it's like, that's not the case. It's terrible. But this is what I tweeted out. And this is why And I'll repeat myself again. Remember, the Dems want us fucking dead just as much as the Republicans. We are not voting our way out of this. Only through revolutionary struggle will we survive, which is true. We are not going to vote our way out. This is not something where the next progressive person can just fix. This is a systemic issue that is widespread. And will take revolutionary struggle to survive it, to be able to navigate through it. And that means having a political education. Having, being part of a mass org that is organized and mobilized, right? These things exist, but the problem is, even within these orgs, there's issues. And again, that's stuff I'll probably get into when I eventually do my video, because there's a lot of criticisms I have, even of my own party, right? But you know, like we have Belsky Boy, right? Friend of the show. So many people are just in outright denial of this. 100%. This is the problem. People think you could just vote, you know, like vote blue no matter who, they told us. This person posted, right? But so many people we think we're gonna, like, how do you, like, I would ask somebody, okay, how do we vote out of this? How? Like, that would be my counterpoint. How do you vote your way out of this? Because the Democrats are joining in on the genocide, so who are you voting for? Right? And this is what I mean by viral. Like 50 likes, 4 quotes, and 26 retweets. There's no voting out of it. Exactly. Someone said, what's this person? I don't understand how people see it any other way. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. But it's Texas. What do you expect? At least they're Dems. Power in numbers and shit, right? Well, they're being sarcastic. I'm gonna like on that. Through the states and federal, the Dems are enabling the Republicans to pass bills. Unless the people's will is actually represented, voting is useless. The only answer to this is revolution. I'll assume they don't have any yikes take. Oh, they're followed by Silver Spook, so. You know, what else? Liberals hate socialists more than fascists. Sadly. You know. But like, this is the reality. You know? And what I'm worried about, like, on a massive level, what I'm worried about is a bunch of trans people are going to be swept up into this climate of fear and manipulation of being forced to vote for Democrats when the Democrats are trying to kill us. This is so ridiculous. Like, I'm not surprised it happens, but now that it's happening, I'm validated. I'm literally validated because I tried to tell people this years ago and I was laughed at. I was mocked. I was discarded. I was told, wow, that is accelerationist attitudes. And here we are. Proven right. Hell, women negate the right to vote by voting. Exactly. You gotta, like... And I'm not sitting here, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, go do something stupid, right? That's not the answer either. The answer really is in the key to all of this is political education and organizing. And that organizing has to be actually organizing, right? If that means trans people have to, like, barricade streets to disrupt traffic, so be it. You know, we need to look to our indigenous comrades for their tactics, right? We need to learn from them because they know how to fucking protest, and we need to look to France because they know how to fucking protest. Waving a sign and begging lawmakers to respect your human rights isn't going to fucking work. It didn't work for Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson. Alright, let me pull that up, right? Let's pull up that clip. So to, like, end on this point, because I don't want to focus on this story too long. You know, we're like a half hour in, and I don't want the entire stream to be like a downer. And we'll have a palate cleanser after this. We're going to hear from an actual revolutionary on this. Alright? We're going to hear from someone who sacrificed for us. Who fought for us. Anyway, we're going to listen to someone who sacrifices for us, who fights for us. Let's turn this up.
Changed from the beginning to as it is right now.
This movement has become so capitalist. It is a capitalist movement. You know, the first 4 years was basically fun. I mean, the festival took place right on Christopher Street, and everything was moderately priced. I didn't believe that I would have to sit here 32 years later and basically bitch about the fact that they have become so capitalist.
Yeah, gay pride really is, you know, not what I need. It really is like sort of consumerist and racist and just not the politics that really feeds my life.
This is no longer my pride. I gave them their pride, but they have not given me mine.
I think that there definitely is, a difference between someone who's coming from a queer radical perspective and another queer person who isn't necessarily coming from a very progressive or radical perspective. I think on the one hand, you have a group of people who are saying, we're interested in the transformation of society to rid society of inequity, be it about race or be it about sexuality or what have you. And on the other hand, with say non-radical people, non-radical queer people, you might say that they might be fighting for a piece of the pie, fighting against job discrimination, but not necessarily fighting against capitalism in general.
So when we look at that, right, what we are seeing firsthand is how capitalist pride is, how co-opted it is. And like I said, Sylvia Rivera didn't go to lawmakers and beg. She fought. They fucking threw bricks at Stonewall. That's how we got where we are now. So like, it comes down to when you think about it, you have to ask yourself, like, okay, then what do we do? Again, organizing, political education, protesting, but militant protesting, like actually meaningful. Again, you look at France, they want to raise the retirement age, and the country's on fire. It's like, that's really the only way you're gonna get like anywhere.